Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Nedarim, page 50, which discusses the famous story of Rabbi Akiva, who went and, with his wife's encouragement, to go and learn Torah and become a great scholar for the period of 24 years, to the point that afterwards, when he finally reunited with her in the presence of all of his students, he said the very famous sentence to his students as well in their presence, that all the Torah that I have and all the knowledge and Torah that I've imparted upon you, all my students, is only due to her, that she encouraged me. So we find this unbelievable relationship between Rabbi Akiva and his wife. But what is a less known story is also found on this page. Rabbi Akiva and his wife were extremely poor. Eventually they ended up becoming wealthy. Even though Rabbi Akiva's father-in-law was wealthy by the name of Kalva Savoa, because he was so disappointed in this marriage, because he thought that his daughter would be able to do a lot better, he ended up saying, I'm not giving you anything. And eventually, once Rabbi Akiva became great, he recognized the special qualities of his son-in-law, and he retracted on this vow, which is the reason why it's found in this tractate. So it says that they were married, and during the winter, they had practically nothing. All they had to cover themselves with was straw. They did not have a pillow. They did not have a blanket. All they had was straw. And then all of a sudden, Rabbi Akiva turned to his wife and says, I see we're lacking so much. I only wish that one day I'll be able to buy you this special jewelry called Yerushalayim Shel Zahav, this golden Jerusalem. And I can only wish that we'll be rich. I feel horrible the way I am. Perhaps that's how he felt. And it says that Elijah the prophet, Eliyahu, came, and he appeared as a regular person, and he turned to Rabbi Akiva and his wife and said, I have some great news. I just had a baby. And of course, this is not the case. But nonetheless, this is what he said to them. The problem is, we are so poor, we do not have anything for our baby. We do not have even any straw. I know you have some straw. Can you please spare us some straw so that my baby will have some straw to sleep on? And on this, Rabbi Akiva turned to his wife and said, you see, there are some people that don't even have straw. Now, this is an unbelievable message, because Eliyahu needed to open up Rabbi Akiva's eyes to recognize one of the most important quotes that I always say throughout my life. Instead of spending your time focused on what you don't have, focus your attention on the things that you do have. So Rabbi Akiva had basically nothing. But once he was able to see another person who had less than him, it was a way for him to realize that as little as he has, he should at least be appreciative of that straw. And it's true. He was down by saying, I wish we had this. I wish I can buy you jewelry. But the reality is, that is not the proper mindset. Because if a person feels that way, even when a person has more than straw, if you live in a beautiful home and you have a nice car, you're constantly looking at the next thing. You're constantly wondering, I wish I could have a nicer car. I wish I could go on more exotic vacations. I wish that things were better for me. Instead of looking at how lucky you are, you're so focused on what you don't have. It shows a lack of appreciation, but it also shows that you are not being happy with who you are and what you have. So instead of focusing, just like Rabbi Akiva, he himself had this issue, but he eventually learned from Eliyahu that even if you have very little, but certainly us that have so much, instead of focusing on what we don't have, focus instead on what we do have.